Yep.
Hello everyone, I'm calling today's Student Government Association meeting on November 3rd, 2025 to order at 3:17 p.m. First things first, we gotta approve last week's minutes. So this is what we did last week. We had a couple reports. We had an emergency funding request. We had a constitution that we approved. We overviewed some poll results. And then we had a lively second open floor about the AI staff member. So would anyone like to approve these minutes from last week? Senator Cebulski, would anyone like to second? Senator Cochran? Approved. Next, we have the agenda for today. There are a couple additions from last night. So we've got two speakers. We've got Laura Hoffman from the Counseling Center speaking. And then we were supposed to have our advisor Gieske, but he's not here. And then we also are going to be talking about end of semester goals, the pep rally. Oh, there he is, perfect. And talking about a couple updates, but not many. Would anyone like to approve this week's agenda? Senator Cochran, would anyone like to second? Senator Roberts? So firstly, we are going to be hearing from Laura Hoffman from the Counseling Center. I forgot to take roll call, I'm so sorry. Do that real quick. Vice President Bowles is here. Senator Biagini.
Here.
PPT Clements.
Here.
Senator Cochran.
Here.
Senator Conley is excused. Graphic designer Kurtai.
Here.
Senator Cebulski. DEI Chair Dixon. Treasurer Fell.
Here.
Chief of Staff Geary. Recording Secretary Hildebrand.
Here.
Senator Loris.
Here.
Comms Director Lucero is excused. Senator Mahone is absent. Senator Peliska is excused. President Rangel is excused. He's actually at a meeting for us, so we'll hear about that next week. Senator Roberts.
Here.
Senator Sharifi.
Here.
Senator Shepard is excused. And Parliamentarian Wraith.
Here.
Now we're hearing from Laura Hoffman from the University Counseling Center.
Hi everybody, this is so fun. I've never gotten to be at one of these meetings before. I didn't expect to get to, but I'm really glad to see all of you. Not just because of what I'm going to present to you today, but also because you all are a finger to the pulse of what's going on at Point Park, and so you're very, very important in passing that information along to us at the Counseling Center and helping us to know what's going on with the student body. And similarly, you're able to pass information along to the student body that sometimes we don't have a chance to do. Which brings me to what I wanted to speak with you all about today. Our office has been brainstorming ways that we can more easily connect with the students outside of our office. We realize that sometimes coming up for therapy can be a little intimidating. It's not in everybody's comfort zone to come directly to us when something's going on. So we found, I can take extras if you want. Thank you. We found that what we call passive education can be very important, and finding ways to do that to reach students very easily is also important. We've explored what other universities tend to do to reach their students through passive education, and a lot of times it's things like bulletin boards or Instagram social media posts, things like that, which we do have an active social media. If you're not already following us at lets.talk.ppu, I invite you to. But one of the other things that a lot of universities do, and if you've ever visited another university, you've probably seen this, something like this newsletter that they post in bathrooms. So we are working on ours. We've decided to call it the Stall Seat Journal. And our hope with this, again, is to kind of disseminate information from the Counseling Center, make our information even more accessible to the student body. But also we want to be able to continue to break stigma around mental health issues, to help give people hope, and to just make mental health a little bit more accessible to people and less of something that feels kind of scary. And so sometimes newsletters like this can help break that wall for students, and that's what we're looking to do. So this is just a prototype. This is based on some of the awarenesses from this past October, which, gosh, how is it already November? So this is a little bit more wordy than I think I would typically have it be, and hopefully in the future it'll have things like events that are coming up on campus that might help boost a student's mental health. I really like the word search or like a crossword on there just for fun, and that I love because it's different ways that people can cope with symptoms of ADHD. So I would love to hear from you all in the future. If you have time to kind of like chew on this a little bit and think about it, I'd love to hear your feedback, but things that you feel would make a newsletter like this interesting and accessible to students and just fun. So the reason that this is so important, if you look at the other worksheet that I passed out that has those mental health stats, so these are from the most recent full academic year nationwide, I believe, through American Council on Education. So they surveyed students and they found that about 3/5 of students are struggling with their mental health and need support. And of those 3/5, a little less than 50 are kind of struggling with really significant mental health concerns. And of those people, about half of them are reaching out to get help from their local counseling center on campus. So we would love to see how we can help that number go up and make things more accessible and just less scary, less stigmatized for students. And we feel that this newsletter could help with that. So like I said, where you all come in is of course just feedback about something like this. We'd love to hear some input, again, after you've had time to kind of think about what you feel the students would respond to. But mainly what we are looking for is just your support in kind of communicating to the student body, hey, you know, be on the lookout for something like this. The Mental Health Center, or the UCC at Point Park really cares, and we want the student body to be okay. We want everybody to feel good and feel like they have access to the help that they need. So you all helping pass that info along, but also, of course, this means that this will be posted, likely in different bathrooms around campus, and I think we're starting just here in Lawrence Hall. And we're looking at different ways to post it so that it would be protected. On a lot of other campuses, they have like a plastic envelope that it sits in. And we know that sometimes things get vandalized, and that of course costs the university money, and we don't want to cost the university money. So another piece of this too would just be you all using your voices to communicate to the student body, hey, let's look at a way to honor these pieces of information that are being installed, and keep it safe and clean so that that information can reach all students that are using those facilities. So that's all that I have. It's really just to kind of let you know that we're looking to launch this in the spring and to kind of get your buy-in and your support and your opinions on stuff. Does anybody have any questions? Go ahead.
I really like those stall seat journal. Are you guys going to be like rotating these so that way people have like different word searches and different resources and stuff?
Sorry, where was I lost the question.
Are you guys going to be rotating it so it's like you update it every once in a while?
Yes, thank you. I can't hear a thing. Yes, so it would look different from month to month, and what we would try to do is kind of connect it to the different mental health awarenesses that might be happening during those months, different events that are happening, and have more fun things like the word search on there that are just kind of like silly but helpful. So yes, it would be different every month. Anybody else? Okay, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Also, our info, I think, is on here too. Yeah, at the bottom. Our email is on there if you have any feedback or questions about these in the future. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we have another speaker, our advisor, the Dean of Student Life, Gieske. Woo!
If you don't follow the UCC on social media, you should. Lauren does an amazing job of doing stuff like that, so definitely follow if you don't. I'm not here for that though. What I'm here for real quick is you all should have received today in your email a save the date flyer, basically. If you haven't, go look for it. One of the things that we're doing, we're sort of starting now, so that we can do this the right way, is we're planning a sort of welcome back bash to start the spring semester. So for those of you who haven't figured this out yet, this year is a little unique from previous years in that you all have off a much longer period of time than we've ever had off before. And so it's literally, if you look at it, depending, if you're a COBA student, you could potentially be gone for 5 full weeks, depending on when you leave. But even if you are not, you are getting a solid 4.5 weeks of being gone. That's a lot of time. So our goal is to want you to come back and want you to be a part of campus and want you, when you do come back, have some opportunity to re-engage with everybody, get back on the campus, all those kind of things. So we're planning a whole bunch of things starting that Saturday evening and then really all day on Sunday, which then gives everybody off Monday because that is a holiday that we all have off, and then classes will begin on Tuesday. So the reason I'm here today is because one of the things we're trying to do is on that first Saturday night, technically those that have to vacate over the holiday can start coming back that Saturday morning at 8 a.m. And we anticipate again with being gone for so long, we anticipate people wanting to come back and all that stuff. So that evening we are hosting what we call a prom, right? We're just trying to, I gotta call you back in 1 second, please. Thanks. That's my boss, sorry. So we are hosting what we call prom that night, and we're gonna, of course, put a lot of more information out before everybody leaves and then while you're gone. But the idea is anything you have at home that you want to bring back, that's part of the idea. And then what we're asking for is, would SGA want to help, and not everybody, would members of SGA want to help serve on a prom committee, okay, to help us create the theme, for us to create what we're going to do, what kind of prizes, what we want to do. We obviously want to have students help us plan these kind of things so that it's as good as it can be. And it's something you all want, not something that my person wants. I almost said something I shouldn't, but that camera's on, so I'm smarter than that. These days I'm smarter than that. So it's not something you have to decide right this minute. It's something for you to talk about. But I did want to bring it up. It's an important couple of days. It's unique for us. It's not something we've done, so we're trying to be very proactive and all that. And so we're hoping to get student buy-in and all that kind of stuff. So it's meant to have a little fun. You know, somebody brought up, would we have a court, those kind of things. All that is up for discussion. Obviously, we being Point Park University, we would never have a traditional kind of court setting. So what would that look like for us, and how would we? Those are all things that we would love you all to help us with, if it's something you all are interested in doing. All right. So you'll have some time to talk about it. But I want to bring it up now, because obviously we will, once the semester's over, we will take that break, we will take those first few weeks and really finalize everything and get everything ready. So if there was interest, we would connect with those group of students that wanted to do it, and then we would work with you all. Not necessarily right this second, but now until we get to that point, if that makes sense. All right? Any questions? All right, thank you all so much.
Thank you. And we're going to be talking about our spring plans during the second open floor today. So we can discuss all of the possibilities of what we're going to do in the spring at that time. So this is our first open floor. Does anyone have any initial thoughts for our first open floor?
Hi, how are y'all? So I just want to get this out of the way. I have a question for the senators. And I don't really know how to format this, so I'm just going to be as blunt as possible. How can I better help you guys, like, for lack of a better term, respond, question mark. Because, huh? Stay involved. Yes, stay involved with everything we're doing. Because a few of you, I just turned off the microphone. I'm so sorry. A few of you are very proactive, and I'm loving what you're doing. But it's getting to a point where those people are doing a whole lot, and I'm worried about how they're feeling about the SGA as a whole. So. And this is just coming from, like, I don't really know what you guys are doing because a few of you haven't really been submitting your senator reports and things like that. So I would love to know what you guys are doing so I can relay it to them so they can get a better aspect of, like, what the heck, sorry for my language, what the heck is going on in campus and what you guys as friends and, like, friend groups and, like, what you've seen around campus and, like, things like that. So how can I better, like, is there something that you guys would prefer I would do to, like, get that information from you guys better, or is it just like a matter of you guys are still getting used to this whole blah blah blah, if that makes sense? Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. So if anybody wants to answer that, feel free to not answer, it's fine.
Senator Biagini, if we could pass that mic down. Also, I'm sorry to the other side of the room, your mic is broken today if you weren't here for that, so I'll pass it over to you if you guys have anything to say.
No? Okay. My response to that is, I think part of it is just like getting used to the, like, whole thing, like you said. Me personally, I just like have so many other things going on in my week and like classes and other things, so I just forget. So my small suggestion is like maybe like in the senator group chat and Slack, like you could be like, hey guys, just a reminder, like submit your senator reports like every Monday or Sunday, like beginning or start of every week. Like maybe that would help. That's my idea.
All right, if there's nothing else for our first open floor, we're going to be moving to executive reports, which there are only 2. So I went to Keeley this week and I got a list of all of the clubs, all their contact information. I sorted it into different demographics. So I also sent out like a when to meet to the club improvement space or club space improvement initiative group chat. So that way we can figure out when everyone is available for different meetings with different clubs, so we can send people to different club meetings, talk to the members, get some input directly from the source. So we've got that scheduled, we've got that organized, and so that will start meeting probably next week. And I thank you to all those that have already filled out the when to meet, but I know there are a couple people who have not filled out the when to meet that are in the Club Space Improvement Initiative group chat. So please do that.
All right, so hi everyone. So me and Sam, our treasurer fellow, along with some input from Chief of Staff Gary, have discussed and drafted up a resolution to reform funding rules in the bylaws, which would do 2 things. It would allow for the possibility of a winter funding period because our break is so long this year. And it would also introduce a budget request standards document that would introduce guidelines for budgets that future treasurers can refer back to when explaining reasons for approval for denial of certain requests, and that clubs could reference when submitting requests to make sure that their requests are in line with that and are like properly filled out. So like kind of reduce like friction. I hope to be able to approve that with the Rules Committee officially this Thursday and present it to the legislative body next week. And that's it from me.
All right, then we've got one committee report this week. Comms did a giveaway, so I'm gonna just hand it over to the graphic designer, Kurtai.
I forgot to submit a report, sorry friends. Yes, we did a giveaway on our story this week, and I'm hoping that maybe we can do that a little more often, because we did get a lot of story views, which is great, especially considering that it was Halloween weekend, because I know everybody was really busy and having fun and being safe. And we did this time a small giveaway for the best Halloween costume. It was just very basic, like send in a picture of your costume, best one gets a prize. We did not do a gift card that was our original intent. We're doing an Owala and a little Lego set. So I think it would be fun if we did something like this in the future, if anybody had like any input for giveaways, especially for like freshmen and young, like, what is that, lower classmen? What you guys would want, I don't know, that sounds bad. Younger classmen? I would, under, yes! I said that, guys, check the tape. If you youngsters could tell us old people what you want to win, that would be much obliged, because I don't know what people want these days. I know what I would love, but I don't know what you guys want. So if anybody has any ideas for future giveaways, I would definitely like to do one for like the Christmas time, because that's definitely like the season of giving. So I would like to do one around then too. That is all. We'll be choosing the winner in our next meeting. So stay tuned.
Lovely. Now we've got the senator report. So if you all remember in my email yesterday, I asked you all to bring your end of semester goals. I specifically want to hear how involved you're interested in being for the rest of the semester, what initiatives you've been working on or what initiatives you've been ramping up to work on, and how you see this going for the end of the semester. Also, if you don't want to finish something at the end of the semester, that's okay. You can plan to continue it into the spring. I just would like to hear what your plan is for like about the next month. Senator Cochran?
Shall I also give my regular weekly senator report?
You don't have to this week, but if you would like to, you may.
Sure, why not? This week I followed up with the sale office regarding my previous email about the permanent signage for discussions at Dewey. I got a response literally 10 minutes ago, so we'll review that here very soon. And then I also talked to a couple COPA students in order to get more information regarding practice room usage and registration, and how that process could be cleared up or just made more accessible. Right now it kind of just seems like most students have adopted the method of like viewing the posted schedules and refraining from using the rooms when they're blocked out, but it seems like a pretty unclear process. For next week specifically, I want to figure out how to make that information more widespread or create a public way for students to register. And then I'd also soon like to meet with the Student Theater Advocacy Committee to discuss meeting with COPA administration moving forward, or how that collaboration with student leaders is going to work. By the end of the semester, I hope to finalize the role with the Student Theater Advocacy Committee. I'd like to make sure that we all communicate and figure out what that's going to be for the rest of the semester / year. And then I also want to spearhead or finish at least 2 initiatives for the end of the semester, with one of them likely regarding practice room registration.
Love it. Who's next? Senator Roberts, did you raise your hand?
I joined in on your initiative for club space improvement, so I'm just waiting to get started on that. And then I was in contact with an advisor, but it wasn't Angelo, in regards to registration. They're really busy right now, so they don't really answer their emails, but I'm gonna meet with him probably very early next semester and talk to them, because I don't really want to add to their plate right now. But that's my plan as soon as they can handle that being on their plate. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, so my goal for the end of the semester is I really want to help get that office organized and all of the documents. I want that done. I want to get that done. And I just went down what else I was gonna do, but there was something else and I can't remember right now. But we'll come back to you.
Senator Ploska?
Hi. Too close. I just, my whole plan, last week I sent a bunch of emails out for different clubs to schedule meetings and stuff. I've only got 3 responses, which is great. But I want to plan to get that thing moving and get clubs and make meetings with clubs this semester, so that way we can talk about what we can improve upon next semester for them.
Looking forward, I want to continue with my initiative to have Boost available on the weekends. As of right now, I'm kind of unsure who to go to for that or who to contact. So far, I've just been like basically collecting data, you could say, from like students, just asking a lot of students and a lot of my friends, like, hey, like, do you think Boost being available on the weekends would like benefit you? Because I remember because I know would be useful to me, and I always forget that it's not available on the weekends, and so I'm like, oh, I go to order, and then I go, wait, I can't. So that is my plan.
Generally, for the rest of the semester, I'd like to just be kind of general support. Really, anyone can come to me, and I'd do anything, really. On top of that, and a little bit more specifically, I'm still kind of working on the printing credits and kind of trying to gather more information about like how to actually like even implement my ideas of like transferring to other students and stuff like that. And yeah, I guess I'm a little more general, just general volunteering and really anything that needs done. I'm very free to do really anything.
Definitely ask Senator Sobolski for support. They're really good at that. Do you two have anything to share?
My goal is to join your initiative and work with that. And also, I don't know who to go to, but I noticed that the prices of like food and snacks and like the cafe is really like a lot, especially like for students that don't have like the Flex dollar. I was trying to like find a way to talk to somebody about that, but I don't know who to like kind of discuss about that because the prices are a little too much, especially for students. And if you don't have Flex dollar or like a meal plan, that can be kind of like hard. So yeah.
Hi, I would love to push for like initiative for like meal plans for like nearby food areas. So like kids can like, if they just don't want to eat the food here or they just don't want it, they could go to Dunkin', they go to Chipotle. I don't know who to go for that, but I know my friends would definitely love that since they go there so much. So I would definitely like try to move towards that.
So in reference to the last couple ones regarding food, you're going to want to go to the people that are in charge of culinary. I believe they have an office right there. It's off of the cafe. Am I talking about the right place? Yes. So anything that you want changed in the cafe, that's who you'd be talking to. And then if you want to get meal swipes, Flex dollars off campus, you just have to go to a local business and say, I have 2,200 students. We would like a discount. We would hopefully up your foot traffic and basically sell that amount of students for the discount to the local businesses. I think that we've discussed this in the past, and like Pitt and CMU, they've got like a larger selling quantity, right? So it's a little bit harder for us to partner with like Chipotle and Giant Eagle and like bigger brands like that. So it might be easier to go to local businesses like Nicholas Coffee, Le Gourmandine. They might be a little bit more interested.
With regards to the food prices, I do know that Colmer does a comparison with the local businesses around here to make sure that our prices are in comparison with like Smithfield News and whatever it's called here on Wood Street. Do your own comparison a little bit, because that way you can challenge us if we're really off on that. But I know they attempt to make sure that our prices are in line with the other convenience stores that are around this area. So if we're off on that, then please share that with us. Like, show us, there are some items that are the exact same, so how much are we off on those items?
You could theoretically do that right after this meeting, just go up to the place up there, and then the newsstand, and then the other one, and CVS, and just see what all their prices are for the stuff that we have in there, and then bring that data back and we can compare.
The problem with that is a lot of local businesses price gouge insanely high, and especially like Smithfield News and the new one that's on Bank Tower and stuff like that. The prices are insane, and they will continue to be insane. So it's going to be a real struggle to get that stuff to change, honestly.
If we really want things to change with food options on campus, I think we would have to be really loud about it and get a lot of people's support. We'd probably have to go to the Globe and get them to support us as well, and basically get as many people on campus talking about whatever goals we have. So if we want to look for that for next semester, we could try to be real loud about fixing or changing some dining hall things. Anyone else for Senator reports? Anything to add? Love it. And yes, just a reminder, this is our motto for the year. Take the initiative to finish the initiative. Oh, and I also wanted to ask, is there any interest in extra volunteering opportunities? We have a couple projects that we could take on for volunteering, if you want to raise your hand if you're interested in that. Oh, I love it. Everyone's interested. Great, we'll have a gardening day. It'll be awesome. So this is our second open floor, and I want to go over the potential and concrete spring projects that we're working on. The main three, I believe, are the elections, which are going to be coming up first. That's going to be for president and vice president, and then we'll be taking the rest of however much time we have in the semester to transition. The president and vice president will help basically get the new person acclimated, finding their own exec cab, stuff like that. And then we also have Pioneer Community Day, which is a day where we all organize volunteering projects. Last year we've done it in the ballroom, I think the last 2 years, and it's been like, we've made like eco breaks and like braille bookmarks and like kits to give to people that are houseless, stuff like that. So that's going to be something that's organized at the end of the year, and I believe Chief of Staff is in charge of that. So Chief of Staff Gary is who's going to be in charge of that project, and then Chris is in charge of the elections. And then the last one is Multicultural Fest, which is going to be held by DEO Chair Dixon. And that one we've had in the past, like people from different cultures come in and like showcase their talents and arts. We've had food and stuff like that. So do either of you want to talk about those projects for the spring?
So we've talked about this a bit in our committee discussions. Right now, we are just trying to establish a good mode of communication to the international clubs that are around campus. We are still waiting on replies, but I'm very excited to get started with the planning of that. It's something that I wanted to discuss in our past meeting, but we didn't have a full cabinet, so I did not choose to discuss that. But I am very excited to get started. I went to the multicultural fair last year. I thought it was really cool, but I think that there are a lot of things that we can improve on, and I'm excited to get started. So.
As for Pioneer Community Day, the official planning is not started for that yet, and because there's not a committee assigned to it, anybody who wants to help me with that is free to do so. You can either come see me after any of these meetings up until let's say the end of the semester to say that you want to be part of that, because I'll probably start planning for that when we get back from winter break. I really enjoyed last year's model of it. For those of you who were here last year, it was several different stations collaborating with external partners to either create projects to donate or just put together things to give to different charities and things like that. So I'm excited to try to get some things going again for this year, and hopefully my goal is to be able to get us an outdoor project for this year, which was a goal for last year that we weren't able to meet. So yeah.
So do any senators have anything that they want to like add to this discussion? I'd love to hear. Senator Biagini, you can go first.
I know we briefly discussed this, Madigan, but I would like to, I don't really know how to say it, but put an initiative to have a Pioneer Pause in the spring, during the spring semester. I've already talked to a couple of my friends, and they said they feel that would be beneficial to them. I think it'd be beneficial to me and just other students. Yeah.
Advisor Gieske, is that something that we'd be able to potentially work towards? I don't think we'd be able to get it on the calendar for this year is the thing. It would have to be implemented next year, probably, is my
Sure, I
assumption.
mean, it is definitely something that we can discuss without a doubt. I would say this, the first thing that comes to my mind is that the reason why we have one in the fall and not in spring is because we have a spring break in the spring. So arguably, that spring break is the pause.
But don't we have Thanksgiving break?
Yes, at the end of November. Like
So why would
the
we
feedback we
pause?
got, the reason for Pioneer Pause, and in all fairness, there's some discussion that it probably should even be a little bit earlier than when it currently is, and we're having those discussions now, is that our Point Park's traditional fall break, which is not really a fall break, it is a Thanksgiving break, is at the end of November. So you go from August to the end of November with no break. And we're one of the only schools that do that. So that's where the idea of the pause came from, is to give everybody that opportunity in the middle of the semester. So that's why. Where spring break is not necessarily at the end of the spring semester. But again, with all that said, that does not mean it cannot be discussed. That's just was my initial thought of why there's one in the fall and not in the spring. That's all.
To expand on this, I think if I were to add a pause for the spring, I would want to do it right before finals. Does anyone else have like a timing frame?
I was going to bring that up. If we have Pioneer pauses like the middle, early part of the fall semester, and then we get a break at the end of the semester, just reverse that in the spring. So we have our full break earlier on in the semester, and then we get Pioneer pause at the end, closer to finals. Gives people some time to catch up, take a break, get ready for that last push, basically.
Anyone else? Yeah?
Just speaking from the COPA perspective, there were a lot of COPA students that, yes, our classes paused, but we were still like required to go to rehearsals. Like technically our Pioneer pause ended at 5 p.m. So maybe if in the future we could also just clarify what because the policy that I read was that it would extend to the conservatory, and I had rehearsal. So another thing is another problem that might pose for COPA students is during the end of our semester we were getting ready for showings or showcases. So a lot of the class time that we use is specifically dedicated to that. So I think, in all honesty, to the COPA population, having a pause like right before finals would be more harmful than beneficial.
Sorry, Sienna. I think I noticed in the Pioneer Pause email that there were like addendums at the bottom for different groups of students, like the athletics program and the COPA students had like, see this person for more information. So I don't know how that would affect it or how we could potentially adjust that for what it is existing. Is that what we're looking to do? Yeah. Okay. Anyone else on Spring Pause? All right, anyone else on Multicultural Fest? Any ideas for that? Okay, they can be brought up in Dewey. Anything for Pioneer Community Day? Volunteering activity ideas that anyone wants to come up with? Yeah.
I know that last year we did name change kids with the Healing Wellness Foundation, and totally unbiased here, but I do think that we should bring that back because it was really successful, and I know that from working at Healing, name change kids are like name change days where people can come in and speak with like people who know what it is to go through that process and have help through that. It's huge. especially right now when the laws are constantly changing and what you might need to do like looks different from what you might have needed to do in previous years. So I think bringing that back would be a really, really, really good idea.
Senator Savolsky.
Shit, I actually don't remember what I was gonna say.
Volunteering idea?
In lieu of government shutdown and SNAP being, like, I guess paused for the moment, I think food projects should be something that we definitely highly consider. Be that like can drives or just like something simple like that, or even more involved, I guess, going to like soup kitchens or like something to that effect. I know we have a bunch around here, so there should be a lot of opportunities to maybe do that. So
Yeah, something that Christian brought up this week, I don't remember if it was in the general chat or not, but he wants to support SNAP, people that are unable to be supported by SNAP at this time. So as I see that there's a lot of interest in volunteering, we will put together a day where we can all do that together.
Sorry, just to add on to like the SNAP, like kind of like food-based projects, I think it's a really good idea. My only note is that I think that if we did do like a canned food drive, it would be really good if we had an emphasis on like things that accommodate certain dietary restrictions, such as being vegan or gluten-free, because at least in my experience working with Elaine, the Gravity Food Bank does not tend to get a lot of stuff that can accommodate that. We get certain things, but we don't get a lot of stuff. So if we were to do a food drive, I'd focus on that. I think another really good idea would be doing like a monetary donation drive where like you get together and donate money, which I know would be hard for students, but food banks and food pantries are able to buy food and other things at like either wholesale products or lower than that, so they can make your dollar stretch like a lot further than like they can with like a can of like food.
I'm not entirely sure how this works. Like with, I was gonna say maybe we could bind together with like Pioneer Pantry or something, or whoever runs that. But I don't know if that's like one singular person or if it's just like the school. So I don't know. But if we were to do something like that, we could do like SGA and Pioneer Pantry collab, like something like that. I think would be cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you have anything for the pantry specifically, you'd have to go to community engagement. Specifically, Heather Fielder is the person who runs that pantry. So if you have anything for that, you would want to go to Heather as like your first contact.
Thank you. That was so informative. So yes, we will try to put together a volunteer project based on that, seeing as there's a lot of interest in that. And then elections are going to be run by Christian. All right, how are we feeling about planning prom? Yeah, or no?
I'm all for it.
Quick vote, unofficial. This is not. It may be on video, but this is not like a recorded vote anywhere. Other than on video, and maybe if like Ayla writes it down. But who's feeling like prom is a yes for planning? That's enough to make a committee. So I feel like if you guys really want to do that, have at it. But we're gonna need someone to lead this, is kind of the thing. So who wants to be in charge of planning prom?
Yeah, this is something that should definitely grow up later, but I would love that.
Okay, as long as, yeah, please do.
And just so you know, like, you're gonna have all the ideas, we're gonna purchase everything, we're going to take care of everything in that sense. Like, we're not gonna ask you all to do all that. It's really about making sure that we're putting on something that you all as students want, not putting on something that I want.
Yeah, so please don't feel like I've just committed anyone to anything, leading anything, planning perfect anything. But yes, it looks like we're gonna be planning prom. Woo! Anything else for our second open floor? We can get off topic now if you all have anything else to add.
Hi friends, come to Urinetown. It's a show that I'm in and it's why I'm so tired. Please come, it's free. What are the dates? Well, thank you for asking. The dates are November 12th through the 16th. There's 2 shows on Saturday. Thank you.
Since we're doing plugs, absolutely, why would I not do that? I'm sorry. No, it's not, they're not even close on like relevance. But y'all should come see Ghostlight's production of Midsummer's Night's Dream. I'm in that. It's December 5th through the 6th. And yeah, that'd be, okay, I see you saying no, but I'm gonna see you there eventually, like it's gonna happen. Okay, I had something else to say, but I completely forgot, because, you know, theaters.
We're kind of skipping ahead to announcements, but that's okay. We actually do have a date where we're all going to go see Urinetown together, so please, it's on the SGA Shared Outlook calendar. Please look at the SGA Shared Outlook calendar. We have so many events on there that we're all going to go to, including something that I'm going to talk about during announcements. And we can add Midsummer Night's Dream to that if we want to do that too, because I want to go.
I remember what I was going to say. Please don't be a stranger. If you guys see me in the halls, or like I see you in the halls, I'm gonna like come up and talk to you. So don't hate me for that. I just wanted to let y'all know that now. And even though like I never see like half of you, like Justice, I never see you. I see Jaden like a lot because hashtag Copa. But like if you ever want to have a conversation, let me know. I'm very, very, very talkative. And yeah, so I just want to say that real quick before I shut up. Before I forget.
Senator Cochran?
I have super quick clarification questions while we're on open floor.
Of course.
Through the organization officers form, is there an organization officer listed for Copa Theater Club? I know it's REN, but I just didn't know if that's something that's listed on, because I don't see Copa Theater Club listed.
I got the list of clubs from Keely Sapienza, who's in the sale office, so I don't know how she determined which clubs she sent me, because I also noticed that there may have been some admitted from the list, so we can like talk about that if you want to text me which club that was that you were interested in contacting. I want to make sure that we get to literally every club. So yes, please text me that if you're missing something.
Also, Copa Theater Club, I'm not sure if it goes through the same process that sale goes through. I think it's something that's funded through the Playhouse, because Copa Theater Club is something you have no choice but to be in if you're in Copa. So it's not like join this club. It's like you're in the club, you know?
Yeah, there are some organizations that we are like going to be talking to, but are less like going to be involved with. Like CAB is technically an organization that we're like affiliated with sponsoring, which like they do not need our help, but we'll go talk to them, see if they need anything from us, you know? So we'll go talk to them, but they may not be like financially supported by us.
Sorry, one last thing for me. On the topic of clubs, I had a student come up to me the other day saying that he really wished that there was like a list of all the clubs that were period, because he's had 3 club ideas that have been shut down because apparently they already existed, but he didn't know that prior to wanting to make the club, and he also doesn't know how to contact those clubs to be wanting to be a part of those clubs. So yeah.
So he wants the herd.
Pretty much, but I didn't teach my work either, so you just open the website. That makes sense, but you know, I'm like.
Maybe you could like send screenshots of it to him.
Correct me, feel free to like step in and correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember correctly, there should be like a guide set up to use the herd, I think, on the Point Park website. Maybe, I know that somewhere there is like a how-to for the herd, like an FAQ, I think, on campus, if I remember correctly. I would also tell your friend that anything on the herd is what's active, and if there are inactive clubs or clubs that like you would have to go like talk to Keely and go through the club process to start up a new club. But yeah, that's.
And lastly, Senator Cochran.
There is in fact the Herd page on the Point Park website. You literally just look up Point Park the Herd. It tells you the information about the Herd, links to the apps, and then just really quickly tells you how to log in and who you can contact if you have any questions.
Awesome. So finally, announcements. Yeah, Senator Cochran.
Back to plugs. I'm also a part of Here in Town. I'm on deck crew for that. Secondly, everyone here should see the One Acts for the RLM One Acts Festival, which will be coming up in December, and I am ADing a production on that.
So, Chief of Staff Gary, if you would remind me when we're all going to see You're in Town? The 14th? Okay, Friday the 14th, put it in your calendars. We're all going to see You're in Town. We're supporting our friends, we're supporting our members, and we're being active. It's great, it's gonna be awesome. But before that, we're actually going to senior soccer night this Wednesday. Woo! So the game is at 5 p.m. So if you can't be there any earlier than 5, that's cool. If you can't be there at all, that's fine. But please be there. So 5 p.m. is the actual game. It's across the river in Station Square. It's at the Highmark Soccer Center. But before that, there's actually a pep rally in Village Park. It's gonna be crazy. I've been given a very long pitch to share with you all for this. So here's the flyer. If you all want to take a picture of this, please take a picture of this so you can remember all this. But so this entire project has been organized and produced by the SAEM for 80 capstone students, and they worked with Pioneer Athletics, the Office of Student Affairs, the Rollins School of Business, the Office of University Advancement, CAB, SAIL, and Conference and Event Centers to make this possible. Shout out CAB. The pep rally will also feature Point Park's mascot, Black Diamond 2, as well as the Taylor Alderdice Marching Band. Guys, that marching band is like crazy good. Like, I don't know how much y'all know about marching band culture, but they're insane. And they bought us a professional hype man to teach us chants and cheers. Yes, it's not me crazy. No, there is. His name's Kyle Archer, professional hype man. Yep, hireable professional hype man. I'm about to have him like just walk behind me everywhere. So the festivities are gonna kick off at the Pioneer Pep Rally on the 5th, on Wednesday in Village Park at 2:30 p.m. I've got class till 2:30, so I'm gonna be a little late. Students attending the pep rally will get an official 2025 through 2026 Herd Student Section Spirit shirts. There's gonna be free merch there. They're also probably gonna have like a poster making station, so we can like all make posters for Tatum. It'll be crazy. And then we're gonna march across the bridge, led by the professional hype man and the marching band. So that's gonna be also crazy. And then, yeah, there's gonna be a tailgate at the stadium after the pep rally. So there's gonna be free food, games, music at the stadium before the game even starts. So it's gonna be a crazy packed Wednesday. Please be there to support Tatum. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And next week, our meeting will be November 10th at 3:15 p.m. in this room. All of our meetings for the rest of the semester are gonna be in this room, and I am adjourning this meeting at 4:10 p.m.